We've gone from Obama saying that he was killed after this Special Forces raid through to he resisted arrest. Now, just the last statement there saying he was not armed. And supporters of Al-Qaeda and human rights groups and others will pick on that, up on that very rapidly and say, well, this was an extrajudicial execution, a brutal response by a superpower to an unarmed man. Now, in military terms, it's a difficult call to make. I mean, yes, these guys are very experienced at this sort of operation. They have conducted hundreds of these sorts of raids. This was not a complex military operation for Western Special Forces. They do it every day in Helmand. The issue in Helmand, by the way, they have a kill or capture policy, and very often the person ends up being killed rather than captured. They want the intelligence from people who are captured. Now, on a political level, the question will be, did they really want to capture bin Laden? Was that ever really explicitly asked of these soldiers on the ground? Or was there a nudge and a wink saying, for God's sake, don't bring him home alive?
Does this put pressure on the Americans to release more of the evidence that they have? We know that the soldiers, the SEALs, were wearing, some of them at least, were wearing these helmet cameras. We've seen the pictures in the Situation Room at the White House where the officials were watching that operation. That exists, of course, and then we know that photographs. We've been told that photographs exist of the body itself.
I think we might see some of the video of the operation, because a bit like the British embassy, the SAS, in the Iranian embassy siege back in 1982, it's a moment of triumph. But they've got to manage this, and this is very much about managing the image of the United States, and Al-Qaeda is all about propaganda. That's why they conduct the atrocities of 9/11. You know, that was conducted in order to draw attention. It was never going to be a strategic threat to the United States, but boy did it create some publicity. What they've got to be very careful of here is that they don't publish pictures that show bin Laden being shot at close range with his brain spilling out, which is what the image will show. Do they want to show that? Do they want to show Special Forces people running through a building, probably using some fairly choice language as they are rushing through? Do they want to give away what are called TTPs? In other words, the way in which these operations are conducted is likely that they were using silenced weapons. So it would look more ruthless and brutal than it probably was. But let's not make no mistake. This was an operation conducted by Special Forces soldiers whose raison d'etre over the last 10 years has been precisely, it's a kill or capture of a high-value target, in this case.
And don't get killed yourselves.
And there were no casualties. No. Now, with the extent to which there was opposition to this operation, how much shooting back was there, again, people will be deconstructing it endlessly, but I think based on their prejudices that pre-existed.